everyone, and welcome to Inspire Total Wellness at Sunridge Ministries. I'm Joanne. I'm the nurse practitioner, owner, founder, and jack of all trades here at the clinic. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and the folks here in the room with us. Just wanted to take a moment and tell you how glad that we are that you're here with us tonight, and that you're learning more about ways to help yourself and help your family through the use of these wonderful oils. And so we are thrilled that we get this opportunity to share, and that I get to learn more about oils with you guys. So I will turn over to Miss Mary here in just a second. I did want to say there's one cool thing that we have coming up here in Inspire Total Wellness. There's a cool new product called OligoScan. It is a painless, touchless way of scanning for mineral deficiencies, vitamin deficiencies, and heavy metal toxicity. And so we have invested in that product here. And Mary's going to share a little bit tonight how I've shown her what that report looks like and how oils can help impact and clean out things like heavy metal toxicity. So without any further ado, I defer to Mary Starr Carter, our wonderful instructor for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. I'm so happy to be here in Dade City. And we know that people come from all over the world to with all the different tools that you have. I've been hearing about, I don't say it right, OligoScan. OligoScan for I know more than 10 years, probably at least 15 years, from a practitioner in California who does it, and it's just a phenomenal tool to kind of see, especially if you don't want to invest in all the different tests that you would have to take, and then a lot of times they're not always as accurate. So it's really neat. So I'm excited for that. I'm just really honored to be here. I want to start with my story that I always share of how I got started with essential oils. I was in chiropractic school at the time, and a friend, Dr. Friend, invited me to this little class. And she said in the class, this very passionate lady who said, these are little miracles, these little white bottles, right? Little miracles in a bottle. And I said, yeah, right, whatever, because I was very science-based or whatever, might know somebody like that, right? And they said, well, I want you to try this oil Valor, because Valor is like a chiropractor in a bottle. It really helps to balance the body, right? Helps to align the spine and balance. I said, no, nothing can do that, right? Nothing can do that. But they gave us a drop of Valor, which I'm going to pass around, and everybody take a drop in your hand and then rub your hands together. And then I like to put it on my shoulders. It's really nice. It's traditionally put on the bottoms of the feet, but the back of the neck is really nice. So I take a couple drops on this. And so that night I used the oil Valor on several people's feet. Keep an eye on, that's your oil there. I used that oil on several people's feet, and I held it until, like they said, and if you do this in the morning, I tell you, it will give you more endurance, more energy. So my first experience, I'm oiling some friends up. Next day, a gentleman that I go to school with came to me and he said, I slept better than I've ever slept in my life. What is in that oil? And I said, I don't know. I gotta know. I gotta know. So I spent a whole year studying essential oils, these essential oils, Young Living essential oils. I spent learning a technique called raindrop technique, which Joanne has had. And it's a beautiful, lovely technique that's so beneficial. Yes, the best place, the feet, it's the best place to use it. But this oil, and I'll just give you in a nutshell, is phenomenal for pain. It really does help balance and ground the body. So when you're feeling very flighty, maybe nervous, you've got a big test to take, your daughter is having anxiety or separation, right? For little ones, Valor is really a great tool to use. And if you have pets, it's really excellent if they have like fear of people or just fear of thunders and lightning and stuff like that. You just take that oil and rub that on them, rub that on their feet as well. So very, very good. It has an oil in it called Blue Tansy. spruce. I'm not gonna give you all the science on it yet, but that has a constituents very anti-inflammatory. So it's great for plantar fasciitis too. So, so that was my story with Valor, and then I started studying and learning about oils, and that was 26 years ago. So when we talk about oils tonight, it's gonna sometimes feel very like, oh my goodness. Now, all of you've been exposed to oils at some level. But for the brand new person who may be watching this, or even some of the stories I'm gonna share with you, because I'm gonna tell you a lot of stories, it will feel like that can't be, or, but I believe God gave us every plant, every bark, every tree, every root for our benefit, truly for our benefit. And we get the opportunity to really utilize these tools. A lot of pharmaceuticals, like your aspirin, came from willow bark, right? So there's this crossover, but somewhere down the line, Big Pharma, I'm just gonna say it, got involved, and it became a money thing. And because a plant can't be patented, right? There isn't the financial benefit to, oh, okay, let's treat asthma with these tools instead of these tools. Does that make sense? Okay. So I cannot sit here and tell you to get off of any herb medicine. I'm not going to say that, but I am going to share lots and lots of stories with you. So the oils that I'm talking about tonight are only Young Living essential oils. Young Living essential oils were founded by a man named D. Gary Young. Gary story started when he had a logging accident that literally put him like right into the ground. He lost the use of his legs for years, and then eventually started to regain his health by using natural medicine. And the Lord just brought to his heart fasting. And he was, I think, on a lot of days of fasting on just lemon water and maybe cayenne pepper and maple syrup, and he started to feel the sensation in his toes again, right? Because the body couldn't build up all the scar tissue. So he dove into natural health, became a natural practitioner, and started a clinic in Mexico. It's there where he learned from some of the great people like Dr. Bernard Jensen, the colon hydrotherapy. They had everything, right? Kind of maybe similar to your clinic. And then one day, someone brought him some essential oils. And he did blood analysis, so he could see literally what the essential oils were doing to someone's blood. They were oxygenating the blood, sticky blood that was going through the cell really slow. When we added, an internal essential oil or topical essential oil, there would be big shifts, really big shifts. He said, I need to find more pure essential oils. Couldn't find any here in North America. So he found in France. He went to France and he studied with some of the top French distillers of the world, John Noel. And to make a long story short, the Young Living now owns farms in France and all over the world. And John Noel's son runs many of our farms today. So this is a beautiful book. If you want to know more of the history of Young Living, we're truly the pioneer of essential oils. And so when I talk about essential oils and you say, oh, I've got essential oils at home, or I use this for that or something, and that's wonderful and that's good. But I'm telling you, the way Young Living distills is not cost prohibitive. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like they put people over profits. So when you get a oil from the health food store and it says 100% pure, they only have to have a small percentage of pure essential oil to label it pure. Even some of our top competitors have decent oils. They may help someone relax. They might help someone, with a little bit of a cold or something. But when you put it head to head with Young Living oils, our oils blow people out of the water. We need just a few drops. And I gave this example last time, but I'll share it again. Early on in my career, one of my friends, my husband's friends, bought our little starter kit of essential oils where it comes with lavender, because our kids didn't sleep, right? They were 2 and 3 and they just wouldn't go to sleep. So she was using a couple drops of our Young Living lavender in the water. We put in little bath salts in the water, and she's like, Mary, they go to sleep, like they go right, they're lying down, they're not all over the place. It's amazing. I said, yeah, it's great. So months go by and her oils run out. So she goes to the health food store and buys a big, $8 bottle of lavender, comes home, puts a few drops, kids are wound up. Next night, a few drops more. She was up to like 20 drops and it still didn't do with our Young Living oils. So we're very potent oils, very concentrated, pure essential oils. We also, our farming practices are not even organic because that's not a standard around the world. Like it's even higher than that. Okay. We don't use pesticides. A lot of times we use old, machinery, that goes in, and even like goats, different things like that to weed or just leave weeds right on with our products. So we do have the opportunity if you ever want to go to a distillation. We have distillations in Canada and Ecuador, Lang Lang, all over the world. So it's really, really neat to do that. All right, so that's a little bit about when I really have to preface, like I can't tell you to use an oil that's on your shelf or an oil that you get at the health food store. I can only talk about these oils, particularly what we're going to talk about tonight. Joanne asked me to talk about essential oils everybody should have. Would you agree or not? We've been seeing a lot of colds, flus.
Been the worst.
Yes, okay, so the Lord said we need to talk about winter wellness, even though it's 86 degrees here in Florida today. So I have a handout for everyone online too, but if anyone wants these two, or needs a little notebook and stuff, that's the second sheet. That's you have it in your little book and stuff like that too. Okay, so I'm gonna go through some direction for you about the methods of use, and then we'll talk about the essential oils. Okay, so first off, you can use essential oils topically, okay? Applied to the skin neat, full strength, or you can dilute them. And when you're diluting essential oils, I don't mean use water because water will drive them in and they will be hot. I'm talking about coconut oil, jojoba oil. Young Living has a V6 oil, but if you're sensitive to wheat, that has wheat germ in it, so don't use that. You can find something. I mean, my kids, if they've got an oil somewhere and it's hot, they'll just go grab the coconut oil and put it right on, okay? I have 26 years. You can get oils in places they shouldn't, but meaning hot oils, but I've never had anyone be rushed to the hospital. Like that's not going, but they can be hot. Okay, so remember that. Next is aromatic. A cold air diffuser. I left that in the car, but a cold air diffuser that doesn't use heat, inhaling directly from the bottle or rubbing your hands together like we did with our Valor oil. Okay, so I'm gonna introduce you to an oil called Raven. Have you been using Raven at all? So Raven is a combination of several different eucalyptus oils together. Do you have this oil, Raven? As well too. So I'm just gonna pass it around for you to kind of smell. If you feel you need a drop, we have more somewhere in my. Do you need a drop?
No, we have.
Okay. But just even inhaling off you can leave the tops on a lot of times and it just opens up your airway. So inhalation is really, really important. The reason inhalation is so important, when you smell a smell, when you get those droplets of essential oils into the lungs, you're actually increasing the oxygen. So one of the things that we want to be cautious of, if you have like a full-blown asthma client come in or someone who's really struggling with asthma or emphysema, or someone has a lot of like lung issues, and you give them that bottle of peppermint, they can take a whiff of that and get very lightheaded. Because they're getting so much oxygen. I've seen that actually, like, whoa, so you just want to be more cautious with them. You just have them start down here, just using oils topically, different things as well. So aromatic use is very important to oxygenate, but also for the emotional component that essential. So when you smell, it goes directly to the limbic portion of your brain. So the emotional part of your brain. So when you have clients that you know that there's an emotional component of that, this is why you have those oils on the side, or you say, hey, go grab me this, and you just give them a drop. You could start with something like a Valor, right? For our mamas who maybe are just struggling, right? A Valor and a Joy are really beautiful together. And sometimes when it's the oil we need for our emotional. I love that oil. Sometimes we kind of like, ooh, that smells bad, right? You're not a Joy fan,
I like the Joy.
but some people don't.
Some people don't.
Okay, yeah. Drop the Joy. Okay.
Thank you.
This was an oil that you might have got free this past month. So it's, okay. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
So this is a natural antidepressant. I'll tell you a quick story about Joy. Did I tell this last time too? That's okay. I'm gonna repeat myself. So Kathy Farmer, her daughter, was right around when she got to puberty. She really started to have a lot of mental challenges and was bipolar. She was diagnosed with bipolar, combative, aggressive. She couldn't leave her in the car with the other kids. She would literally like knock out the window to the point she was hospitalized. So here she has this teen who's hospitalized, and they would go visit her on the weekends, and the doctors are like, we want to have you take her maybe every other weekend home so she remembers the family, because she was on a lot of medications. So the one weekend that she had her, they had essential oil gathering. They were going to this essential oil gathering, and she had paid, for her ticket, and they didn't have a lot of money, and she really wanted to go. So her daughter is sitting with her hoodie on in the corner, and the oils were going by, and she was saying swear words as the oils are going by. And then that oil Joy came around, and she goes, that's not too bad. And Ray is her name. So Kathy scrounged up like $10, got 20 drops in a little terracotta pot of Joy for her daughter. And as her daughter's holding it, and as they're walking out to the car, and she goes to grab the door, she looks at her daughter, and it's like the lights have gone back on. And so they started diffusing Joy in her hospital room, in her little dorm room, 24/7, Joy, Joy, Joy. And it was just weeks that she turned around, weeks. And then eventually was able to come back to the home. Today, they said, the doctors had said she would never graduate. She would be in a mental institution. She graduated valedictorian of her massage class. She has a happy marriage. She has children today. What if, right? What if? So what I'm sharing with you, friends, is that inhalation therapy, aromatherapy, pure oils like Young Living oils, the way these oils have been blended isn't just a little bit of chemistry. This is like Gary prayed about a lot of these blends that he put together. And I could tell you more and more stories of my own of Joy, and after having miscarriages and going through really hard seasons, that oil being such a helpful transition for me. And if you have someone in your life who really doesn't like the oils, you can always sometimes sneak it in their underwear or in their clothes or put them on the dryer balls and stuff like that, but don't be too sneaky, right? But, okay, so that's the aromatic uses. Next is internal use, and I want to share with you a really important recipe this time. I don't know if you're seeing it yet, but the allergies, seeing a lot. So this recipe is really, really good. You're gonna get some veggie capsules. So capsules, they make these. I didn't know this before I started Young Living, but they make these empty double lot capsules. You can see. Do you have any of these at home?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay. It'd be a good time, and I'll tell you why, because I have an idea for you. So just these capsules, and this is called LLP. It's our allergy recipe. Okay, and it's these 3 oils. It's Young Living's lavender, lemon, and peppermint. Lemon, peppermint, and lavender. LLP. Lemon, lavender, and peppermint. Okay, now this is one of the most effective ways to use it if you're going to take them internally, but you can also create a roll-on with those oils. You would use, you can use up to 5 drops each of the oils when you're taking them internally. And some people have to take them every couple of hours so that if you have really hard allergies. But what you'll find through time, because the oils go in and they literally like scrub the cells, they lower the histamines. Lavender itself is like a Benadryl. Okay, so it is really, really effective to flush the histamines and lower the histamines, as well as chiropractic. Gotta put a plug in for chiropractic too. But it's this combination, right? So you could use the roll-on. The roll-on's nice under here. And that's just your fractionated coconut oil, 80% fractionated coconut oil, 20% of your oils. And some people, you just use the roll-on. For me personally, if I'm kind of not having a great diet and stuff and the allergies are on me a little bit, I notice I need the homemade pills, but not that often, maybe just once or twice. Same thing, you can rub it on the chest, rub it on the bottoms of the feet. But millions of people have used this. I say millions, but lots and lots, hundreds of thousands of people have used this recipe, and it works really, really good. You can also use it in a diffuser. Any questions on what I've talked about so far? Okay. Now I want to get into a little bit more about internal. So you can put oils in water. So this time of year, I think it would be great. Do you have a percolator here or anything? Get your local honey. And then just sprinkle a little bit of local honey. You guys tried it already. The 2 drops of thieves, 1 drop of lavender. So thieves, we haven't talked about yet. Thieves is the superstar of colds and flu. Thieves was a blend that was researched from the bubonic plague time. There was a group of robbers who would rob from people who were dying, and they would rub eucalyptus, rosemary, cloves, cinnamon on their bodies, go out, rob people, the dead, and then come home, burn their clothes, rub these oils. They were finally captured and said, give us your secrets. And this was the combination that they used. So many companies have tried to copy Young Living's Thieves, but our Thieves is phenomenal. You see the white labels too? These are all oils that you can take internally. But I will tell you, both Thieves white label and Thieves red label are the same Thieves. There's no difference in the oils, but we have to, for FDA purposes, label one for internal use, food grade, and one for external, if that makes sense. So what I just did, I know you're looking at me, but it really works. Sore throats, just make a little coconut oil and Thieves right on, the glands. Lemon oil is really good on the glands too, but again, use your coconut oil. For your baby, just start with her feet, and throw some socks on. If she's ever gonna be in like daycares and schools and stuff like that, okay. Church, whatever, bottoms of the feet. And it's a flu buster, like this helps to boost our immune system. This and a product talk a lot about Ninja Red. But this, if you had to pick one for colds and flu, if your budget only allowed for one, you want to have the Thieves. Absolutely want to have the Thieves. I want to talk to you too about, I'm gonna jump to buying essential oils. Why you want to work with Joanne, and all of us, because yes, can you go anywhere, health food store? Some health food stores carry this, maybe you can find it online. If you're buying them from Amazon, you don't know if they're pure or not, because a lot of supplements and different things too can be adulterated. But we offer a lot of education. You can ask questions when you're struggling. That's the benefit of working with, and that's the model that Gary came up with, is this model that you would have this support. And if, Joanne's out of town or she's busy, I'm available, there's this group of support and people we can get you in touch with if you, are struggling with some maybe memory issues or something like that. We have other clients that have gone through this and we can help. We can absolutely help. So I just want to remind you of that. Okay. All right. You can gargle. Thieves is a great one to gargle with. So we talked about the Thieves tea, which is the sprinkle of honey, the 2 drops of Thieves, 1 drop of lemon. Put the warm water on there and drink that once a day. That will keep you healthy. My chiropractic friend, she was a single mom. She did that for her kids every day. Both of them had perfect attendance all through school. Yeah, they were big athletes too, so that was super important. Now I'm going to talk to you about retention of rectal retention and vaginal retention. And this is going to sound out there, but it is not. And I'm going to share my own personal story. So when you're dealing with more serious issues, maybe cancer, fibroids, even when you're dealing with the lungs, and we learned this in chiropractic school, that if you could adjust in the lower sacrum, even into the coccyx, that you could affect the lungs. The lower part of the colon, right? The rectum is a direct connection to the lungs. And if you never learned that, you learned it now. And I will tell you, this works. When you feel like you're really struggling in this area, you can take one of these capsules and you can put the coconut oil in it and a few drops of your Thieves, or I can tell you about different other oils, and hold that, just put it up there, not vaginally, but rectally, and you will feel better. Dozens and dozens of times, I've personally done it, hundreds of my patients through the years and stuff too, because what we've got going around, do you agree with this? What we've got going around just seems, is it our immune systems are so low, or things have just gotten really worse? Both, yeah. So we need these tools, and you might, I'm never gonna do that. Well, you get in a situation where you either have to go to the hospital, or maybe, before preventing that, like, could we do something like this? Okay, so that for respiratory is phenomenal. I've had clients with polyps, clients with different cancers do that, and there's a whole recipes in our desk reference. So we have a desk reference of essential oils, and we have different cancer protocols too. Now, vaginal, I'm going to share this story with you. About 2017, I'd had a miscarriage, and I thought I had a miscarriage, I think in May, and it was July, and I was getting like the horrific, like you're going through labor. I'm like, what is going on? And I figured out I had fibroids. I had a fibroid, and I was at that age. And I said, I told my patients years ago to do this recipe, and it worked for them. They would pass these fibroids. I wonder if I'll try it. So I did. And the recipe, you get an organic cotton tampon. And I'm not gonna give the recipe right here, you can reach out if you want it, but I did it one day, not the next. I did it a second time, and then I had 3 days off, and the fourth day I did it, I passed a fibroid. And I don't know, all I know is that that has been helpful for many of my patients. Now, not everyone will pass them, sometimes they'll go away. I first learned of this when I was working as an intern, and one of my dear friends, she had ovarian cysts. And she had irregular cells. And I said, I don't know, all I know is this geranium oil and frankincense are supposed to be very good. Why don't you try it, rub it on your belly every day, take a bath with essential oils, and she did. So she had been tested, she had, ultrasound, she had ovarian cysts, she went back 6 weeks later and they were completely gone. And for the first time in her life, she was coming back with regular cells from her pap smears. Now, fast forward 2 years, she gets a little lazy, she stops doing it, and the ovarian cysts come back. Guess what? She did the same protocol again, and they went away. Okay, our frankincense oil, particularly sacred frankincense, is one of the most potent oils that you could use, and you really do want to have in your arsenal for helping shrink cancer cells. Okay, many breast cancer clients have come in, and I said, I don't know, all I know is the sacred frankincense has very good anti-tumoral. By the time they do have surgery, there's definite shrinkage with no other, modality that could have done that. So our sacred frankincense is a must. And the regular frankincense is very good too. Regular frankincense, great for lungs as well. All right, so special considerations. Topical, apply or layering multiple oils on top of each other in succession. Okay, so you can layer topical oils. We try to wait a minute or so, but you don't always have to. Finish layering with peppermint. Peppermint will increase skin permeation up to 18%. So think of this, peppermint is the frosting on the cake. So we do that last in the raindrop technique, right? We put that last on for the raindrop technique. Okay, I'm going to pass around rosemary. Rosemary, we'll talk about it in a minute. Actually, let me just go to it. So rosemary is a general stimulant. It's very good for respiratory issues. It's an excellent expectorant. It's good for protecting against infection. It is in your thieves oil. It's very good to reduce mental fatigue. Okay, I'll tell you the recipe you use it into. So rosemary, you can go put that on anywhere. I am losing a little bit of hair. Rosemary is one of the best hair. Rosemary and lavender is very, very good for hair growth. And cedarwood. Rosemary, lavender, cedarwood. Okay. So back to frankincense. I'm gonna flip flop a little bit, or excuse me, the peppermint. There's another oil that magnifies the other oils. It's called copaiba. I did not bring that tonight. You have it?
May have it in my purse.
That's okay. You don't have to get it. But it's a good one.
It is a good one. Oh my gosh, is it a good one?
Well, tell us what you love about copaiba.
So, I recently broke one of my teeth. A corner of it fell off, and so I was having a little bit of pain, and I remembered you said it was great for teething, and so I had it on the shelf. And so I'm putting it all over. Around that same time I was having some sinus pressure anyway, so I was putting it on my head, on my jaw. It was amazing. I never actually had to take any ibuprofen or anything like that for the sinus infection and for the teeth pain.
Woo! Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's why it's in the purse.
And it is a great teething oil. So another great tip about copaiba is clients who've had chemotherapy or babies who have thrush, mamas who have thrush, which is the yeast in the mouth here. if they gargle with it, it will get rid of the thrush. So I am a fire hose of information. Aren't we glad we're recording this? Yes, yes, yes. All right, good. We got good. Okay, so the two oils that magnify peppermint, always the frosting on the cake, we put that on last. And then Copaiba is a nice one. You can do compresses. But remember, don't use hot compresses with individuals with neurological issues like MS. You would use cold compresses. A great place to do compresses for you adrenal fatigue. Most of us women in menopause and perimenopause is right over the adrenal glands, the kidneys here. And great oils are like our Idaho balsam fir, lemon, Valor. It's just a great place to create a nice hot compress. Remember, water will drive oils in. So you want to make sure the oils aren't too hot, right? I wouldn't do that with oregano.
So that's with a warm water compress, you put drops on the rag.
No, you would actually put the oils on the skin and then put the warm water, hot water compress on, like
I see.
wrung out. And then put it on there.
I see.
Yeah, we do need to do a raindrop class. I think that will be a good one to watch as well. Okay, and then infants and small children. Dr. Deborah Starkey, she wanted to show her book. This is a great one. Did I give you guys this book? I'm gonna leave this for you. It's a great book. It's called Gentle Babies. It's the original essential oil baby book, and it's so many good natural remedies and oil remedies for babies and through childbirth. But she says, when using on children or infants, like little ones, a 1:30 ratio, 1 drop of essential oil to 30 drops of carrier oil. Now, you're probably like, well, I didn't do that with my baby, but you use the oils that are made for kids, right? The kids line and stuff too. And for my kids had much more stronger oils, but it's just a great place to start. And you can do that in little roll-ons for kids. You can make their own roll-ons so they can learn to make their own. Okay, I talked to you already about all of that. Now, detox. One of the things to understand is essential oils can encourage a natural detox, such as a headache or a rash. This is common when you've had more toxic exposure. And this could be your hairdressers, your firemen, people who've had chemotherapy, mercury amalgam fillings, Diet Coke for 100 years, but here's the great thing. I wasn't looking at anyone, I promise. But here's the great thing is that it's not forever. You don't even have to change your habits. It's just the body might initially want to release some of the toxins. Carpenter, you might notice in a couple times when we've worked together, we've had a lot of oils like, okay, I'm done. Your body just kind of tells you, but the best thing you do is drink water. And I'm going to grab mine, but make sure that you're very hydrated when you start using oils. Okay. Okay. Metal. Remove metals such as watches, jewelry from bodily contact before applying oils. I encourage that. I haven't done that. I'm missing my wedding rings that I'm laid down somewhere because I take oils and do that. But don't worry, they're consignment, they can be replaced. I've had to replace them 2 times because I've been taking oils off my rings off for 26 years, unfortunately. Let's see, do not put oils directly on your eyes, ears, or touch contact lenses after use. Essential oils can damage your contacts, okay? Now, wintertime uses is the neti pot. The neti pot is a great way to use your essential oils. And basically you put the oils into the salt that you use. Rosemary is very good. Melrose, sacred frankincense. Some people like RC. It is very, very good. And this is on page 7 if you have this handout. A diffuser necklace, I used to wear one of those where you have that, or a bracelet. A lot of people can wear oils, but you can diffuse oils right in your hair. So if you're leaving your hair down, that's good. I just put oils under here several times a day. If you have a mustache, that's a great place to put oils. You can create a spray where you just have oils in a spray, whether it's your thieves oil. We talked about tea. These are all different things that you can do and have for the winter time for yourself. Now I want to talk a fast response respiratory recipe. According to D. Gary Young, the fastest and most effective way to reach the respiratory is through a rectal retention. Okay, dilute RC and eucalyptus blue in a capsule, insert into rectum, and retain overnight. So I wanted to introduce you to eucalyptus blue because most other companies won't have this. This eucalyptus is specific to our farms in Ecuador. So this is a great one. It may be one that eventually, as we get the word out, you may want to carry. I love this eucalyptus. This is great on the chest. Or just inhaled. It's a deeper. Oh wait, that was radiata. Sorry. I was like, that doesn't smell like dirt. Go ahead. This one has a deeper,
Earthiness.
yeah,
And this last one was what?
a eucalyptus radiata.
Oh.
Yep.
okay, so it's still eucalyptus.
Yep, still eucalyptus. And that's good too. It's good on pain points too. I've had people with the radiata. Okay, so this one's a little more, I call it a dirty smell. Some people love it. But you can smell more earth in
Mhm.
this one.
Okay, no. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. definitely.
Yeah. But you'll see, like, you feel like it wants to push something out.
It almost has like a cinnamony bark on
Mhm.
the backside of it.
Ah, I guess so. So you're wishing you could smell this, right?
Don't inhale too much.
I know. It really does. It pulls a lot out. I'm gonna leave this for Joanne. You can come to her office and smell it if you want to. You're like, no, I don't want it there. But it is really, really good. So RC is an oil that we all want to. Oh, let me read about eucalyptus blue. A great go-to oil for multitude of respiratory problems. Eucalyptus blue promotes normal breathing and is the only eucalyptus variety known which does not cause a reaction in people allergic to eucalyptol. So if somebody says to you, I'm allergic to eucalyptus, they can use the eucalyptus blue. Now the RC, I'll pass this around. RC has 3 species of eucalyptus in it, and it functions as a decongestant and can be useful across the respiratory spectrum from asthma and allergies to whooping cough and strep throat. RC has also been shown in lab testing to be highly effective against MRSA and staph. Now, you thought that was a lot, but guess what? This little guy also can get rid of your bunions. If you put RC, now it might take months and months and months, but it does work. You just keep putting that RC right on that bone spur, that area. It does dissolve bone spurs. And I have multiple stories. So you got one, go ahead and use some RC. That's a beautiful oil. Do you have RC at home? Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, but I didn't know anything about that. I didn't know about the bunions or the bones.
Bone spurs, yep.
Tore up my shoulder,
Mm.
rotator cuff.
So that would be very good to use. Now, let's not forget about MRSA too, because that is a big deal, right? And what we're seeing is that it's resistant to antibiotics. And so using oils is very effective. Lemongrass is another one too, when you're seeing MRSA. Thieves, RC, lemongrass. Okay,
Is the RC one that can be with a neti pot?
Yep,
Are there
RC.
any that you wouldn't put in the neti pot?
oregano.
Okay.
Oregano.
Okay.
Oregano, yeah. But really, even just the RC, I had a sinus infection a couple of weeks ago. And just, massaging, getting it in here, don't forget this area back here and stuff too. You can breathe so much better. And I showed this maybe last time or in one of our classes, I don't know where the peppermint is, but if you really want to open the sinuses, lavender actually is very good. Couple drops of lavender right on the tongue is good, but then that peppermint oil, take a lick and just pull it through. And it will open you up stuff too. When you're really dragging too, remember peppermint is gonna help your energy levels too. You've got to drive a long distance, you're having a hard time staying awake. Peppermint is really good for that as well. All right, I'm just giving it all to you tonight, but let's see, how are we on time? Okay, a little bit longer. So rosemary, remember I said it was a general stimulant. It's great for respiratory issues, but I want to tell you how I use rosemary for a detox bath. So a detox bath can be used when you are feeling like you're getting sick. It's phenomenal for like a lot of aches and pains and for general detoxification. So I don't know what you recommend, but I recommend 2 to 1. So 2 cups or 4 cups, depending on the size of your bath, of Epsom salts. Okay. So 2 cups of Epsom salts, 1 cup of baking soda, or 4 and 2, 1 cup of baking soda, and 1 cup of hydrogen peroxide. Now you add 10 to 12 drops of rosemary to the baking soda or the Epsom salts. Okay, so that gets in there. Throw that in, make sure that, gets dissolved, and you sit there in pretty much as hot of water as you can get it. Don't burn yourself. And it's crazy. You sweat like a sauna. It just makes the body sweat out, and then go like this in your skin, just like layers off, not layers off like a burn, but just, it is amazing. But the rosemary is really good to help detoxify in the body. So this is called in the Young Living world, it's our lymphatic cleanse. So when you really need to get the lymphatic system moving, that detox bath is really amazing. It's really, really amazing. And we can do a whole class on like detox sometime too, which is really good. Okay, and what else do I want? We talked about thieves. Thieves again is a top choice from everything from hand sanitation to infectious diseases. When diffused, thieves has been shown in university testing to kill up to 99.96% of all airborne bacteria. That would be a great one to diffuse. As soon as you'd get that diffuser, thieves oil and stuff too. I think multiple times a day would be really good during your cold and flu season. Let's talk about sacred frankincense. We talked about this in the Bible class, but historically used to treat every known injury to man. Sacred frankincense is anti-inflammatory as well as immune stimulant, effectively increasing white blood cell count to help fight infections. It's an antidepressant. So what other oil did I say was an antidepressant? Okay, joy in your frankincense. Very, very good. Highly antifungal, helps when dealing with serious issues, aromatically helps overcome despair, helps with memory and confusion and clearing brain fog. If you are over 50, I recommend you get a bottle of frankincense and you use your frankincense this way. So once a day, you take a drop, you put it to the roof of your mouth. Okay. Let's see. I bring my. frankincense. You put it a drop to the roof of your mouth. Okay, I'll just use a different oil here. Oh, I did bring it. There we go. So you can use this in the class. They can use it at the roof of their mouth, or I would just put it maybe over your temples, inhale it. It's very, very good.
It's just,
Frankincense?
matter if it's sacred or the regular.
Sacred is a little bit more potent. It is actually the frankincense from Jesus's time. Sacred fragrance has more anti-tumoral and a little bit more anti-inflammatory properties.
Okay.
Would you just like to smell? Okay,
Oh, yeah, I like that.
so again, I'm gonna hold it just for a little bit. Oops. All right, we got a few brave ones here. And where I'm holding it to the roof of my mouth is also like the pituitary pineal glands way back there, but when you're putting anything in your mouth oils wise, it's going right into the blood. And the reason I say that is because we want to protect our cognitive function, right? We want to do everything we can to stay sharp, to clean out chemicals we've been exposed to, and it's really, really important. The other thing for women and even for men is make yourself a little frankincense with your favorite, coconut oil, fractionated coconut oil or jojoba oil, and a couple times a week, you're gonna rub down the breast area, or for men, the lower, and for women, the lower abdomen area too, right? Because we want our prostate and our breast healthy. You could add some of our citrus oils to that. Speaking of citrus oils, I think I'll end with the last two oils here. Lemon. Lemon is it increases white blood cells. So we all need that during the winter time. Okay. It's highly antiseptic, antimicrobial. Lemon is great. First response to apply to the soles of the feet as soon as someone feels sick. It's very inexpensive. It's very inexpensive. So, keep lemon on hand. And even I would tell Joanne every day, because for you being on your feet, or anyone who's on their feet all the time too, lemon is good for microcirculation. So you probably have a little less swelling. That and Valor would be great if you want less swelling, would be good and just more endurance. Also used as a disinfectant, white blood cell improves immune function, excellent choice for coughs and throat infection. It is photosensitive. So any citrus oil, if I put a citrus oil here, even Joy, because Joy has bergamot in it, and then I go out in the sun, this Florida sun especially, I will get probably brown there or even a little burn. Okay, so you want to be aware of that. So in terms of UV, like they say 24 hours, I say at least 6, or 12 hours or so too. So just be aware of that. Like if you're going to slather, that's why Joy might be nice, like on your clothes or on a necklace. They have essential oil earrings, diffused. And then lastly, I want to talk about oregano, and then why we want oregano in our winter wellness and respiratory. Oregano is considered one of the most powerful antimicrobial oils. Oregano has been shown to be effective in vitro against Streptococcus pneumonia at a 99% kill rate. Okay, so Joanne has a diffuser that puts oils directly into the air, not the water diffusers. And Young Living's coming out, we should see some more of the smaller, small room diffusers that are just puts the oils right in the air. So look for those. That's what you want when you're dealing with pneumonia, okay? Or you suspect it. It has a strong anti-infectious. Oregano is recommended across the respiratory spectrum from chronic bronchitis to bacterial pneumonia. Bacterial pneumonia. On the emotional level, oregano can produce a feeling of security. Now, I'm just going to let you smell this. This is a hot oil. We use this in the raindrop technique. But I'll tell you, if you've got foot fungus, if you've got No, it is true oregano. Nice. If you have a viral, okay, so that's where our Raven and then this oil called Immune Power. So Immune Power is definitely too another one to have in your medicine cabinet arsenal. And I'll pass that around, and I think the only thing I can really smell there, you see what you can smell, is that oregano in there.
That's all I saw.
Yeah. But Immune Power has hyssop, and we talked about that in our biblical oils class. How hyssop, even Bob Jones said every person should have hyssop in their medicine cabinet. And this oil is really good. You can apply that along the spine, the bottoms of the feet. So the last thing I'll say is when you're dealing with viruses hide in the spine. So things like the cold sore virus, other ones, they live in the spine. And this oil, that virus on a lot of levels can get, I've had patients who've used this consistently and gotten rid of that virus out of their system. And that's a big deal. So you're going to use that along the spine. Okay, so whether it's oregano or Immune Power is even more powerful, that will be more your viral oils. Any oils that have hyssop in it, you're gonna focus more for viruses. Okay, and that would be Raven too. Raven, we talked about it earlier, is a highly antiviral and antiseptic oil. It can be a staunch ally in fighting infectious respiratory diseases such as influenza and pneumonia. An excellent oil for diffusing. It can also provide respiratory comfort when applied topically to the chest or throat. Try the addition of using Raven as a suppository when dealing with difficult respiratory issues. So we've talked about a lot today. Okay, and we've talked about when we started class, I shared some of my stories, and I have hundreds and hundreds more, but my point is that, again, all I'm talking about tonight is talking about Young Living essential oils and the purity of them and how they have been used now for 30 plus years with people with great results. These methods of use, the applications that we talked about, topical, aromatic, internal, retention, suppositories, nasal irrigation, throat sprays, nasal sprays, putting oils to the, I've given you a lot. You can go back and watch this, you know, several times. But the last thing that I want to say is that oils are wonderful and they can cleanse and detox the system if you're using them consistently, but they're not going to replace vitamins and minerals. If you haven't built your foundation, you know, they're not going to replace that. And Joanne was saying, you have to come to her office to get that, but they have a tool, you know, they can measure and see. And I was just looking at one and I showed her, I said, oh, look, this person has a lot of oxidative stress. And I said, they need a product that Young Living's had, and one that I believe in wholeheartedly is called Ninja Red. And Ninja Red is the goji berry, a particular type of goji berry of the people of Ninja, China. And it has been used for what they call sedentarians. And so Gary Young came across this many years ago, and back in 2005, and he contracted farms so that we would have goji berries forever. And so we, you know, supply a whole village, you know, with jobs and different things so that we can have this great juice, but it also has pomegranate. So juices are juices, right? So you have whole food puree of the wolfberry, but now you add the essential oils of lemon, of yuzu, of orange, I think is in there as well. And you make it more bioavailable into the body. So I love, love, love Ninja Red. I could talk about it forever. So think about it. If you build up your foundation, if you maybe get tested and see what what is it I need? You know, how, we're always gonna be exposed to oxidative stress. It's been proven to help your sleep. It's been proven to help with weight management. It's been proven to help stress levels. It's been proven to lower inflammation, right? So you have this, your oils are only gonna work better. Your oils are only gonna work better. I've watched through the years, people use oils like Band-Aids. Oh, I got this, I'll use the oils, and they work great. But if you build the foundation, you'll spend a lot less money on essential oils and other healthcare tools. So I encourage you to reach out, ask us about the Ninja Red. We can give you data on the clinical researches. And then I have a couple of programs, but the Reset program too with the Ninja Red, and it walks you through making the lifestyle habits of drinking water, moving your body, you know, and it's a wonderful app. It's an offline program too. It gives you all the tools you need to be encouraged to start making those foundation changes as well. So I hope this has been helpful. If you want to reach out and ask more questions, I'm going to shut down the Zoom, we're going to ask some questions here unless you think there's anything that they need to know, but I appreciate you. There will be information where you can reach out and more about this facility and all the great things they do. I want to thank Joanne and everyone who came tonight. I know I overloaded you. Pick 3 things, friends. You have a choice right now. You can just test one oil out, or you can say, okay, you know what? I might get a kit of oils. You have a couple kits of great oils. The 2 kits that would cover all the oils, pretty much all the oils I talked about. One's called the Golden Touch Kit, and the other one's called the Everyday Oils Kit. And I know you have the Everyday Oils Kit, and that Everyday Oils Kit, or excuse me, the Premium Starter Kit. Premium Starter Kit comes with a diffuser. Okay, so those 2 kits together, you would get just about every oil I talked about, minus rosemary and immune power. Okay. And then the 3rd type of person is like, okay, I need to jump in. I need to build my foundation, get the nutrition I need to jump in and do all that. And we encourage you to reach out and let us help you get started. All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.